So there is this famous quote that people laugh about kind of all the time, and it's every dead body found on Mount Everest was once a very motivated person, and I'm having a very similar error to my day today, where it was supposed to be a 5K day, but I can't help but just tell myself to be less motivated, to expect less of myself, and it's going well so far. Happy November 16th. Today was supposed to be a 5K day, but I have a horrible cold. It's just like one thing after another in my life. I am feeling a little bit okay. I'm feeling pretty mentally stable, but I'm trying to take advantage of that and get some YouTube stuff done, get some homework done, and some writing done. I had a really lazy day, but I actually did a good portion of my writing before I started filming. I have 2,300 words done. I think it's like 2,315 words, something like right above that mark. It just was really relaxing. So, when you wake up with a cold and you feel kind of like cruddy, I didn't really want to film early in the morning, so I sort of got up and I got some water in me and I read and then I wrote and then I got some food in me and then I wrote a little bit more and then I got a shower and cleaned up and I wrote, and now I'm on like my 4th or my 5th writing break, and I am taking this break to do the rest of my YouTube stuff for the day. But it has so far been pretty anticlimactic. Part of me hopes it stays like that for the rest of the day. So I had mentioned that I had thought it was going to be a 5K day today, but what I'm actually going to try to do is I'm going to try to hit 4,000 words instead of 5. Now I have 2 reasons for this. One, if I push for 5, I'm going to have to sacrifice doing other things, and I don't really want to right now. Also, it just sounds really nice to take 1,000 words off my plate. And the last time I tried to do a 5,000 word day where I actually pushed for 5,000 words, I ended at 4,200. So being able to write 4,000 words in my mind is similar to like going to the gym and you can't lift more weight, but you can do the same amount of weight. That's sort of what I'm going for. I'm going for consistently being able to write 4,000 is my new goal right now. I do work tomorrow and the day after, so my word count goals are lower, but my current game plan to get caught back up is to overwrite every day. Now, I'm currently 5,000 words behind where I want to be. It's like 4,700 words now if you go like down to specifics, but I'm only actually, as of today, 2,000 words behind what NaNoWriMo says I should be at. So it's not so scary. It was kind of exciting to see that because I just kept thinking, oh, I'm so behind. But when I logged in to update my progress, I kind of reevaluated how hard I was being on myself because it's pretty close to the line, my project. So I have a little bit of brainstorming to do so that the next section can be better. So my current plan is YouTube stuff, brainstorming, checking back in. This is probably not going to happen today, but it might. I'm not really sure. I've been craving boba, specifically I think milk tea. I had bubble tea a few days ago. I think it was last week actually. Anyway, I had bubble tea and it struck something in me where that's all I want to drink now is bubble tea. And it's less about the bubbles, I think, and more about the milk tea, because when I lived in Japan, I drank milk tea nearly every day, and I think it struck something in my heart where I was like, milk tea, this is amazing. And I have tapioca starch left over from another project I was doing, so I could make bubbles to put, like tapioca bubbles to put in my tea. Baby, open up to me. Don't give up so easy. So I haven't really gotten any more writing done yet. I did almost all of that YouTube video. I just have to do like a thumbnail and a description and stuff. It's uploading now. And then I took a minute to call my manager to let her know that I was sick because I work with food service. So I was like, hey, these are my symptoms. I feel kind of okay when I'm on medicine, and I just want to make sure that it's okay that I come to the store, because if I walk in the store and I have any symptom or any problem develops that is COVID-like, then everybody that I've encountered in 48 hours has to quarantine for 2 weeks to make sure they're not sick. And I have been the victim of that before, and it's very uncomfortable. So I called her and I was like, I just want to check in with you before I come to the store. Like, this is what's going on. And she basically told me that I can't come in and I have to get tested because even though my symptoms don't necessarily align with COVID symptoms in general, they are both on, like, my stuffy nose and my sore throat are both on the secondary symptom list. And if you have one of the primary symptoms or 2 of the secondary symptoms, you have to be tested. And I don't want to make light of it because I know that this is important because I see a lot of people all day, but at the same time, I feel terrible for inconveniencing them like that, because no matter what, I can't go back to work for at least 3 days now while I'm waiting for the test. So I'm feeling kind of guilty about it. So I'm waiting to hear back from, I called my PCP to see where I should go to get tested, like what the quickest way to get this done with is. And that kind of just like consumed my mind. But that was my super eventful break from writing, and I was going to sit back down on my computer now to write, and my next creature that I'm going to fight is 1100 words, so that's my next milestone. But I don't know if it was just the stress of that or if it was staring at my computer to do YouTube stuff, but I'm starting to hit that like afternoon slump where I'm just getting tired. And part of me is like, I could just take a nap because I'm sick, or I can make coffee. And the part of me that wants to take a nap keeps reminding me that, like, if I wake up from this nap feeling even a little sicker than I do now, then I might use it as an excuse to go back to sleep or to not get up and write, and that can just be very dangerous. So I'm going to start with coffee. The problem with that is I don't have creamer at all, and I'm a wuss and I can't drink my coffee black. So I'm gonna run to the store and get creamer, but while I'm doing that, I'm gonna be brainstorming what exactly I want to be happening in these next sections, because, you know, driving and walking through the grocery store are pretty mindless tasks. So I'm gonna try to take advantage of my little excursion. Open up your eyes and see. I moved over here to my reading side to be a little bit more comfortable. The coffee definitely didn't hold me over. I went and I got the stuff to make the coffee, and I did sit down and I wrote another 863 words, bringing me up to my total of 78 words. 3,178 words. So I'm less than 1,000 words away from my goal. After I had sat down and wrote those last 800-ish words, I ate dinner, and then I was exhausted and I was feeling really crummy, and my laying on the couch playing on my phone very quickly turned into passing out for an hour. But my sickness feels worse, but I kind of feel mentally better since I've taken a nap, which is exciting. It also is exciting for me to know, like, if I'm able to write this much and be sick, I'll definitely be able to recreate this whenever I'm feeling better. So I have less than 1,000 words left. Now, I did start fighting an 1,100 word monster, but I'm counting words that I'm keeping in my manuscript, and the way For the Words works is it counts the words you type, whether you keep them or not. So, like, if you're typing a paragraph and then you type the first 3 words of a sentence and you backspace those 3 words, it still counts what you have backspaced. So I had at least 1, maybe 2 small paragraphs that I had deleted. So fighting that 1,100 word creature, the only words that I kept were 863 words. So because of that, I'm definitely going to fight at least 1 more 1,000 word creature to make up that extra 800-ish words that I need now to complete my goal. Because this is going so well, even though I'm under the weather, I don't think that there's any reason why I shouldn't be able to do 5 or maybe even 6K next time I attempt this. I do know that today me and Brooke made plans to do a live stream on Thursday at 8:15. Oh, and I made myself milk tea. So I'm hoping that will help. I actually made it earlier before I fell asleep, and I put it in the fridge because, like, you make hot tea and then you sweeten it and then you put milk and ice in it, but instead of putting ice in it and watering it down, I just made it earlier than I wanted it and stuck it in the fridge. And I think this recipe turned out really well. I leafed through recipes online and they were all like, make tea, make it really strong. Most of them said double strength because you put ice in it when it's hot, so it waters it down. It like makes tea concentrate, sort of like making iced tea, and then you just put milk in it. So I sort of took all that information and just made my own. I made double strength tea. I put it in the fridge early and I put a splash of milk in it so it's nice and strong, and I love that. I'm feeling, just sitting here and talking, I feel a lot more awake. I was really groggy there for a while. Our story, baby, open up to me. Don't give up so easily. So I did it. It took 2 sprints and 2 hours longer than it normally would have. It's now 8:30, which means it took me 3 hours to get that last 1,000 words done. My first sprint was 540 words, and my second sprint was 407 words, so nothing like super impressive. I don't think I wrote more than 1,000 words in any one sitting today, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm feeling a little bit better about the direction my story is going. I do think I need to sit down and brainstorm a little bit of what's happening next, because we're getting to the point, like if I meet my goal tomorrow, if I just barely meet my goal, I'm going to be right under 30,000 words. So I really need to be making sure that tension is building up and that we have a good midway point where things really switch. Another thing that was a little bit of a distractor in the last 3 hours was my book box. I got my October subscription book box from Fairy Loot earlier today, and I know it's a little bit late. They're very transparent, which is nice. They tell you when things are shipping late and what they're waiting on and when they're packing things up. My box was also an extra couple days late because it accidentally went to Philadelphia before it made its way here. So I wanted to share some of my favorite things I got from the book box. So my top favorite thing this month, other than the book, is this puzzle. It's a 100-piece puzzle, so it's not anything huge, but it's Jax from Caraval, one of my top 3 favorite characters from that series. I like his attitude, which is kind of funny because he's very arrogant and nonchalant. I like the printing on the box. The theme for this month was Wicked Hearts. Now, another thing that I absolutely love is playing cards. Now, these playing cards, they're very pretty on the back and they're shiny and they have black edges and black faces, and then all of the normal numbers are just plain, but then every Jack, Queen, and King have character art on them, which is what I really love. But these are the kind of fancy playing cards that I would play solitaire by myself, and other than that, they're going to sit on my shelf and look pretty. Each of the 4 suits is from a different fandom. It is The Beautiful, The Shadows Between Us, Sorcery of Thorns, and Even the Darkest Stars. Now, I actually haven't read any of these books, which is terrible to admit, but the first 3, The Beautiful, The Shadows Between Us, and Sorcery of Thorns, are on my TBR. I haven't heard of Even the Darkest Stars, but it's definitely something I'm going to be looking into now. So the book this month is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I know this is a super anticipated book. Allie Ernest, who has another writing channel, she does a lot of live streams. She's really lovely. She predicted this book. She messaged me and she said, I read the little teaser. I know exactly what book it's going to be. I'm very excited, and it was this book, and I'm honestly really impressed. So the original cover is a yellow tint. This one is a purple tint. It also has black sprayed pages, and this is my favorite part, the stenciling on the edges. I have never gotten a stencil sprayed book before, and there's just so much detail there. It makes my heart hurt, and it just gets better as it goes. So the book itself has foil on the front, which isn't as common as I would like it to be, if I'm being honest. And then, sorry, it's gonna be noisy for a minute while I take this off. The dust jacket has a poster in it. And with each book every month, we get a character art card, and we get a letter from the author on the back. And I was so excited to see that this was a handwritten style letter. Fairy Loot was very big on that when I first signed up in April. It was always a handwritten letter from the author, and I just love that. There was something about just seeing their handwriting that I thought was extra special, but during the COVID occurrence, almost every one of the letters was just typed, and I'm sure that they had no way to get around that. I had thought originally that maybe they just moved on from it, that they grew so much that it was no longer practical to be getting these littler touch things, so I was really excited to see the handwriting. But the most special thing in this box is a deleted chapter from Carrie Maniscalco's book, and it has the cover on it and has a blurb on the back. And one of these came in the Blood and Honey box, but this one is easily 2 or 3 times the size, and it's printed on really nice, you hear that? It's vinyl paper, thicker than magazine paper. But other than that, everything in the box was pretty magical, and I had to tell myself that I cannot start reading this book yet. I just finished a book yesterday, but I'm buddy reading Serpent and Dove, and then maybe Blood and Honey, but definitely Serpent and Dove with a friend of mine, so I have to get on top of that first. But I digress. I get really excited about books, especially lately. I found myself getting really hyped up about books, and I think they encourage me to write better and be more conscious about my writing, because it reminds me that I'm not writing just for me anymore. This isn't my casual hobby that I just do in between classes. I am writing for potential readers in the future, and I'm writing to tell a story that people enjoy. So when I get really excited about these stories and I read them and I like and I dislike things, I really am taking note of that, so that one day maybe I will be able to have special edition covers of my book just because somebody wants to own it. And a lot of people have like this dream, like, I want to be famous, I want to have movies taken out of my books. Honestly, if I have a small handful of people who are willing to buy a special edition cover of my book, or sprayed edges, or spend extra money for foil on the front, even if it's not a huge collective of people, that seems pretty amazing to me. It might be like a bucket list thing. I might have to order myself a copy of a foiled, sprayed edges version of my book, even if it's not successful, just so I have it for bragging rights. Remember to subscribe to this channel. 60% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. Totally rude. Make sure you hit the notification bell because I post writing related videos every Monday, and also follow my Instagram. It'll be linked below. I post writing advice, writing inspiration, self-publishing help stuff. It's also the best place to get a hold of me if you need edits.